I've been in Giri for the past 12 years. I came in 2010 until now.
I moved to Giri in the first part of my final year because it was the closest community to my school and I didn't get accommodation in school.
This is where I manage because I have nothing doing. So I decided to come and manage like this to earn my living.
I'm into electrical works, installations. I work with MTN.
When you stay by the river bank, I guess, you should expect those kind of things. But I remember asking before I got there and they said that nothing like that had ever happened before.
Ever before then, we've not had anything like that.
I was like, fine, I'm not even going to be here longer than a year. So if you've been here 7 years, no flood, why would there be a flood in 1 year? And that was why I decided to take the risk. Because of the strike and lockdown measures, I had moved some of my things to my parents' place, but I still had some valuables at my place in Giri. And my mom was like, we had to go back to pack up everything since, the lockdown had prolonged.
The rain started about 1 a.m. in the nights.
And terminated 1 p.m. the next day. And we're all here that the rain started. Our neighbors, you see all the collapsed building behind. They were all behind us. So the river, the flooding was coming, we're all asleep.
Na fito zan tafi sallah asuba shine sai ruwan ya shigo. Yana shigo a lokacin ma shine na hakura da zuwa masallacin muka fara kwashe kaya.
So that morning, my parents and I got ready to go back and clear my place out. We got there around 6 a.m. or about 10 minutes to 6 a.m. And before we got to the junction, we saw vehicles making a U-turn and driving against traffic. Because it was still quite early, we thought there was an operation or some sort of danger on the road.
My goods was coming from Lagos, the MTN networking stuff. Were coming from Lagos. So when they get to Gwagwalada, they called me around 3:30 to 4. So I left to the roadside and met with them. Then we left to this NMPC tower. That was where I worked that very fateful day.
Around 3:30 a.m. my neighbor behind was knocking at my door, shouting, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." So I ran to open the door. My husband was telling me that it's my customer that are calling on me. I said, how can my customer knock on my door this time that they want to buy pap? When I opened the door, the lady is shouting that we should come, help, help, help.
While I was there, my wife called me that my house had fallen off. I said, which house? The house I woke up from this morning. He said, he's telling me the truth, I better come over.
So I just ran and opened the door. I called the children to come and help her and move some of her things. We tried to move the things, the important things we cannot move. Before we reached there, the water has already entered behind. So there is nothing we can do. We are just running for our life. Before we discover it has done away with our own building.
I left the job I was doing and I rushed down home. I discovered that everywhere was even fraud.
Before we even got to my place, I saw that people were gathered at some point and there was a huge body of water in front of them.
When I get to my house, I see that the house was down. So part of the house was down. Like this place you are seeing, there was a room here. The other side there was a room there. There was a room also, toilet, bathroom, there at the back. Everything was down.
There was a church somewhere on that road and it was almost completely submerged in body of water. Like you could literally only see like the pinnacle of the church above the water. So we got to my place and I couldn't get access to it because it was flooded already. About 30 minutes or so into watching and waiting, a group of young men, came around and asked me if I had anything in my place. And I was like, yeah, I do. I have my friend's credentials. They had like a couple of stuff there. And, they were like, oh, all right, let me go in and get it. I'm like, no, please, your life is worth more than that. They were just adamant on going in to get it. So they went in.
He even went away with this, my little shade.
It was only God that saved my little kids that was in my bedroom sleeping. My wife had to rescue them. Then that room was empty. So we have to shift the little things that was left behind to that very place. Why fraud has taken away the rest? It wasn't a good thing that very day anyway. It wasn't a good thing. It wasn't a good experience.
They had to go into the window, so they pulled off the window, and the first guy went in. The second one held his waist just for safety purposes, and then the third one held the second guy by his feet or his waist.
Only the young men here are trying to rescue people's properties, jumping into houses and rescue people's properties. So we are appealing to the government to come to the aid of the people.
I put out a tweet or a couple of tweets and tagged some agencies or bodies that I thought could help. I didn't see any emergency service come until I left that place.
People across the other side cannot be reached. This side cannot be reached. And this house, any moment, it might give way. It's already coming down.
Nema come say those people their house near water, they will destroy the place. We tell them say no, how will not have any place to move. If can destroy the place, we must give them the place where they will move.
There are two major causes of flood: natural cause, and there are anthropological or man-induced causes. For the flood of that magnitude, both you see to be at play.
Some people said Kaji Dam was opened. That was what caused the fraud. Some people were saying, which dam? The one at Buhari, towards Buhari. It was the dam that was opened. That was why the fraud was much. So nobody can really tell.
The settlements were very close to a major water canal. Secondly, canals that are expected to take care of flooding, take care of excess flow, are used as refuse dumps. That is one major factor that I saw as one of the factors that was responsible for that flooding.
As at that time, you say where they opened dam from Cameroon and so on. So we don't actually know what was the cause. It was only the rain. I think it wouldn't have caused that disaster as such.
When you build along a water canal, when you block a normal waterway, and there is an increase in the volume of runoff, certainly you expect that floods will occur.
When we have dams that are meant to save water, they are probably constructed and then they collapse along the line. That will also lead to flooding.
We are currently experiencing climate change, and so one of the things that we would expect is we have unusual occurrences of rainfall. So anything can happen at any time.
After they had got out some of the big pieces, they had to get out of the place because the current started to increase again.
A rana din gaskiya muna cikin tashin hankali din ba mu samu manutsuwa ba da abu din ya faru. Kamun dai mu ce wai mun samu dai dan nutsuwa, mun nutsu da mu da yaran mu, mun kai kaman karfe 2 dai mun samu guri muka nutsu lokacin ruwan ya lafa.
I saw my landlady when I got there and I greeted her. There was no response. She wasn't smiling, she wasn't crying, nothing.
There was a lady over there. Water took her and 2 kids away. Till today we don't know their whereabouts. Water took them away. They saw the dead body. One of the children was drowned, and they found the dead body at the other iron bridge there. And many other people, like you can see that place, they were building all over that place. But after the flood, it was as if there was no any building there.
She had made it out of the flood with her kids. They all made it out safe and alive. But she didn't get anything out of that flood. Like literally everything she had went with that flood, including the houses that provided some of the income she survived on.
Some of the family I know, the husband and the husband, the wife, and 6 children went, and the other person, the wife and 4 children went. The dead body that they discovered that very day, it was 36. The one they saw at instant, but the ones that happened, the other ones we don't know. Maƙotanmu ne kuma tana tare da yaranta guda 3 da ita karan kanta ruwan ya tafi da su. The following day, many people came to collect our names and account number that they will help us, but we have not gotten anything from them.
Government say you go intervene everything to support the community. After today, we will not see anything.
It's only from my church that they help me. They gave me money so that we can use it and manage for that week.
Church and Muslim now them support many things like a living faith. Some give 1,500,000 for dream that time this thing happen, and most some people they give clothes and money.
We use the money to buy some things, to buy net and cover the uncompleted building so that we can manage, and some foods, because the food we have at home during that flood, we do away with it.
After the incident, this so-called NEMA were here on their own selfish interest, wrote our names and left, promising that they will be coming back to compensate us. Till now, nothing was done.
An dai ce an kawo taimako a gidan mai anguwa. To aka ce ana neman wannan ruwa suka wuce musu da kaya su zo. Mun je gurin aka ce ba a tashi sauke kayan ba sai da safi. Mai anguwa ya ce kowa ya je gidan shi an sauke kaya din zai nemi mutane. To har muka zo muka yi babban sallah ba su ba da kayan ba gaskiya.
Haven't been comfortable. We've not recovered. Things have been worse since that time till now. A lot of group of people, organization came, NEMA and others. They collected our names, snap our houses, the way people are doing. You know, a lot of neighbors behind me, even you see those two inside the river, it was people's houses. The river was not as wide as this. It was a small piece of, it was just a street. But it is as a result of this flood that opened this water you see like this. So since that time till now, it hasn't been easy with us.
Look at our building. We are managing one room with my children. We are about 12 in this house. We are managing one room. And some people, they are outside living with their friends because we have not gotten money to complete to fix it back. It's one room that we are managing.
We've expected them. Nothing is done towards that. So I don't think I'm expecting anything from government anymore. It has happened, it has happened. That is Nigerian for me and you.
Natural occurrences have a pattern of reoccurrence. The soils there, particularly around the Giri area up to the university environment, are shallow soils. At some points, you have very high water tables. And with that kind of water table, just a little increase in the volume of rainfall could lead to a severe surface runoff. And all these are factors that could aggravate flooding. We cannot rule out the possibility completely that it will not occur again because all these factors are still in operation and the possibility is very high.